Okay, everybody, I got pretty good responses from you all about doing the videos, so we're going to continue doing them until you absolutely hate the sound of my voice, which probably will be sometime soon because I feel like all I do is speak. But, until then, we'll do this. So what we're going to talk about today are adverbs. After we did pronouns, which was the first thing that I noticed some issues with after our diagnostic test, I also noticed some issues with adverbs. And adverbs are kind of slippery, so that sort of makes sense. If you're a person who you're still kind of like, I don't really think I did well in that pronouns assessment, then just go back, view the video again, view the handout again, and try again. There's no problem with trying again. I'd rather you know it and be able to move on than just keep moving on and keep getting further and further behind. That wouldn't make any sense. So we're going to start with adverbs today. Adverb is a word. An adverb is a word that modifies, qualifies, or limits a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. So you'll notice that it doesn't modify or describe. In fact, let's just change this from modify to describes. You'll notice that it doesn't describe nouns or pronouns. So anything that you can put a determiner or an article in front of, like the, a, or an, those are determiners and articles. You'll find that adverbs don't describe the things that you can put the, a, or an in front of, like the phone. An adverb can't describe the phone because phone is a noun. Or the girl. An adverb can't describe the girl because girl is a noun. So a word, adverb is a word that describes a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. Adverbs in the real world make writing more specific and exact, and they're more for the creative writing aspect. So my students who were telling me, oh my gosh, Ms. McLemore, you know what I love to do? I really like to write creatively. Well, then adverbs are for you because they can really help you in that aspect. And I'll talk about that more at the end. Here's a saying that you can always remember adverbs. Most of the time, you can always remember adverbs by. English is kind of a difficult language because I feel like there's no definite saying that always works. But this one will work most of the time. Adverbs typically answer the questions how, when, where, why, and they usually end in ly. It even rhymes. So I'll say it again. Adverbs typically answer the questions how, when, where, why, and they usually end in ly. But they don't always. So here are some examples of adverbs which don't end in ly. And this is not an exhaustive list. And what does that mean? I wish I could hear you say what you think it means. An exhaustive list is something that includes all of the things. This does not include all of the things. These are just some examples of some adverbs which don't end in ly. Things like also, always, away, even. I won't read them all to you, but I have included this list here for you. So let's go on. Adverbs modify verbs. They're like verb adjectives, if you will. So let's practice identifying adverbs with the following examples. John ate quickly. What is the word in this sentence which tells us how John ate? Of course, don't say it out loud to me because I cannot hear you. And then if you're in the classroom and you're doing this as a bell ringer, then that would be awkward. But think to yourself, what do you think it is? John ate quickly. Well, what is the word in this sentence which tells us how John ate? Quickly. That's the adverb. Okay, let's move on. I walk there. Fine. What is the word in this sentence which tells us where I walked? There. That's the adverb. Ashley will eat soon. What is the word in this sentence which tells us when Ashley will eat? Soon. And why am I asking these questions again? These how, where, when? Well, you'll notice adverbs typically answer the questions how, when, where, why, and they usually end in ly. So when I'm looking and I want to know, I might start there. Adverbs also modify adjectives, okay? So let's practice identifying adverbs with the following examples. Rex is very happy. What is the word which tells us to what extent is Rex happy? How happy is Rex? Well, Rex is very happy. He's not just a little happy, he's very, very happy. What about the program was too unrealistic? What is the word which tells us how unrealistic the program was? Too. Okay? So, you can also think of this of how happy is Rex? He's very happy. And if you use the term very, or if you find that you're using something to describe how happy somebody is, then you know that that's an adverb. We can think about it like this. How unrealistic was the program? Too unrealistic. Okay? Adverbs can modify other adjectives or describe. So let's go ahead and replace that with describe. Describe here as well. That's basically what that word means. And I feel like that would be easier to grasp than modify. Great. Adverbs can describe other adverbs. Let's practice identifying adverbs with the following examples. Warren walks too quickly. Too, right here, modifies the adverb quickly because it says, how quickly was Warren walking? Too quickly, okay? It also answers, quickly also answers the question, how was Warren walking? Quickly. He moved rather recently. Rather modifies the verb recently and answers the question, how recently? Another way to look at this would be, when did he move? Recently. Okay, how recently? Rather recently. So this is one of those situations where you're asking those how, when, where, why, and they usually end in ly. So we're still asking those questions here. Just about all the time those will work for you. Final questions. How do you know when a word is an adverb or an adjective? That's a good one. So I made this table. Adverbs describe verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. They do not describe nouns. Adjectives, on the other hand, describe nouns and pronouns only. Let's look at some examples to make sure we understand. For an adverb example, Helen contributes yearly. In this case, we know yearly is an adverb because it answers the question, when does Helen contribute? Yearly. We also know it is an adverb because it is describing the verb contributes, and adjectives do not describe verbs, okay? Adjectives only describe nouns and pronouns, so we know it has to be an adverb. We know that contributes is a verb because it is what Helen is doing in this sentence, okay? Let's look here. Adjectives describe nouns and pronouns only. So Helen has a yearly membership. In this case, we know yearly is an adjective because membership is a noun. We also know it is an adjective because it tells us what kind of membership Helen has, right? What kind of membership? A yearly membership. We know that membership is a noun because we can put a determiner in front of it, like the, a, or an, and it would make sense. The membership, a membership, okay? And finally, why is this even important in the real world? You know I always try to bring things back to that. Well, if you're going to be a creative writer or you really want to get your point across and you want to show your reader rather than tell your reader, which I would always suggest, adverbs can be very helpful. Adverbs help readers visualize their actions, visualize the characters' actions better. Precise adverbs allow you to write more creatively, see what I did there, and draw in your reader's attention by showing them rather than telling them. For example, instead of writing the sad man, you might say, the man sat in the corner, breathing heavily, carefully wiping away his tears. They both say that the man is sad, but they say it in different ways. I bet you can find the adverbs in these too. Talk with a peer after this video for 30 seconds and see if you agree. But be sure to ask your peer the question, how do you know? They must provide you with evidence for their claim on which words in these sentences are adverbs. All right, now that you're finished with that, please go take your adverb quiz. I will have a link up on the board over here, and you'll be able to navigate there and do that. I can't wait to start class. Bye.